particular, Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, two members of the Chicago Bulls, who had known Kukoc was offered a large contract. They felt the money could be. What's going on, everybody? We are back for another episode of the Brotherhood Connect, and we are very excited to get this one started because we have some very special guests, a very talented team that we're going to get to talk to tonight. I'm excited to just sit back and listen to their stories and hear about how great they were, because they were a great and talented team. So before we get going, just want to make sure everybody is continuing to stay safe and practicing their social distancing and washing their hands and doing whatever they got to do with their families to stay safe as we get through this together. All right, so continue to do that and enjoy tonight's episode of the Brotherhood Connect. Let me go ahead and get ready to introduce this team. I'm going to read off all their accolades because, like I said, this team was special. 37-2 record, matched the ACC single wins record, 19-0 in ACC games, 24.7 scoring margin, best in ACC history, 15 wins by 30-plus points. Only 4 of 37 wins were by single digits, 5 All-ACC selections, and 4 top 14 picks. That's pretty good right there. So let's go ahead and bring on two guys that we're fortunate to have on the staff with us, Coach Nate James and Coach Chris Carrawell. And these two great guys right here are going to take it. I'm tired of hearing these two talk about how great their team was all year long. Nah, I'm excited. So, fellas, take it away, and y'all have some fun with your boys.
No doubt.
No.
What's up, man?
Man, just day by day, man. Day by day. Excited to get back with the guys, man. So I'm looking forward to chopping it up with these cats, man.
Yeah, I already seen these dudes already for a little bit, man. You know, when we go back to 99, Nate, what are your thoughts, as we 21 years ago, what's the first thing that comes to your mind dating back to 99, going back to
99, man. That team, so much talent. I mean, Nolan ran through, all the accolades and accomplishments from that 99 team. And, 4 first-round picks, man, just like the talent we had, the caliber of player that we had, it was just at such a high level, man. Every day was just a battle, I mean, the practices were just hellacious. I mean, the practices were so hard. The games were easy. I just remember that team, man. Every day you had to bring it, or you were gonna get your freaking game just destroyed.
Right. I agree, man. When I think about that team, a lot of talent, but you have a lot of talent when you have a lottery pick, Corey Maggette, who comes off the bench, who doesn't start and ends up playing 14, 15 years in the NBA. You got McDonald's All-Americans coming off the bench. It's just something when you're in it, you're like, okay, maybe, but we have a hiccup early on against Cincinnati in a Greater National Shootout, and then we go on and win 33 straight. And so when you're going through it, like you said, the battles and practices, the competition, but just how much fun we had. We had a lot of fun on off the court.
So much fun.
It was a team that we hung out together, had each other's back, and it was great memories, man. Great memories.
Yeah, so many, man. Just great dudes, man. You look at that team, and we were so good. Not just because of the talent, it's just because it's the mentality and the attitudes that everybody had. Everybody was just really disciplined. Everybody respected the game, respected the craft. And it's not surprising, what those guys are doing now, in their careers, even within the game, going off to just doing great things, man. And we're just winners. And unfortunately, that team just couldn't win the big one, but great guys, big time talent. And, I'm just excited to, chop it up with them, man. Definitely a team you look back on it and you just kind of shake your head like, wow, how can we not win it?
All right. With that being said, let's bring them all in.
What's up, Nate? What's going on, man?
Hey.
What's up,
what up,
people?
Will? Batman?
Hey, what's up, Nate? C-Rock?
What's up, man?
DB.
So the rest of everybody, Will, Shane, Trey, hope the family, everybody's doing well. It's a tough time. Yep.
Appreciate it, EB. Hope you guys are well. Hope all is well with everybody.
So we just talking about Nate and myself, and I asked Nate the question, and then I answered the question. What's the first thing that comes to you guys' mind when you think about that 98-99 team?
Dominance.
Simple as that.
That's what I think of.
Yeah.
Together. Well, people don't realize. I mean, that team was so good, and when people talk about all these greatest teams of all time, yes, we lost the national championship game, but man, no one wanted to see us. Nobody. And I think Sewell and Nate said it right. The practices were tougher than most of the games. And my memory of that year is we won more games in layup lines that year than I'd ever been a part of before. Literally, we come out for layup lines, and you would see the other team checking us out to see what Duke team was going to come. And we knew if we came out and put 16-4 on them, the game was over. So we were winning games in layup lines.
Yeah.
I mean, this team was, out of all the guys, I was the guy just happy just to get in the game. I knew we were so good. I'm like, look, you guys go out, take care of business. You know what I'm saying? So I can get in.
Yeah, right.
Nate, you alluded to it before, man. The practices, though, every day, like Sewell, we've talked about it before, man. Like, I think the best way that we stayed present was no practice was a cakewalk. Coach pushed us, but more than anything, we pushed ourselves, and I think that's how we got better.
Yeah.
So
no question. So my first question, I'm kicking it off, asking a question. I'm gonna start off with the PG of the team, the PG, Will Avery. And
Good choice.
Got all the right? So, Will, your freshman year, you didn't start a game. You had a point guard for, in Wojo, who started every game, leader, captain, and you was basically a backup. You could play both guard positions. And so your sophomore year, going into your sophomore year, you're handed the keys to the Ferrari, so to speak. And so you end up having an incredible year. But I want to know, and I want to talk about during the summer, your summer of 98, what did you do to prepare for your sophomore year?
Well, first of all, I learned a lot from Wojo. Just watching the way he led, his intensity, the way he got guys involved. But I knew we had a chance to be really, really good, going into that summer. And that freshman year, we had always talked about playing fast and, getting the ball up. So the first thing I wanted to do in that summer was get in the best shape of my life. And so I went really old school, found an old gym, Boys and Girls Club, no air, just got in there grinding, every day, every night. I think I even got my man fired, for letting me in, all times of night. But got in there. And then the other thing, man, was I wanted to play against the best competition I could that summer. I think you were with me at the Nike camp. We went there, had some really good players there. The runs were really good. Went out to Santa Barbara for 2 weeks, worked Michael Jordan's camp. The runs were really good out there, and after just came back and continued to work, man, getting it in, working on my jump shot. I knew with the big fella, Elton, that I was going to get some looks because I knew, he was going to get doubled a lot. And, and guys weren't going to be able to leave Trajan. So I knew I was going to have some creases to penetrate and stuff. So just really got after it, that summer and getting in shape and, working on my shot and my mid-range game as well.
Yeah, I mean, the jump you took, Will, you doubled your scoring average, average 7.5 points your freshman year to 15 points. And you really, to me, that year was the best point guard in the country on the best team. And so just going through that process, just knowing what your mindset was leading to the year was huge because that position, as we all know, is the most important position. But that summer, when we talked about it before, prepared you for you having a great year.
It did, man. And I appreciate all those nice things you just said about me. But, No, it did, man. And I knew that I was an important piece to what we were, what we had. And I didn't want to let you guys down. I wanted to make sure I was ready and prepared.
So Trey, going to the shooting guard now. I'm gonna start at the top. Point guard, now 2 guard. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you 2 guys were the best backcourt in the country. Both of you could score it, you could pass it, you could shoot it with range. And so when I think about the NBA backcourt now, the dynamic backcourts, you guys in college were that. But Trajan, you was the only senior, our senior captain, our leader. And we have got 3 guys on here: Nate James, Shane Battier, and myself. You, the other 2, they didn't finish. They left. Saying Will and Elton, they got up out of there. They left early.
Thanks for that. Actually, thanks for that. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all.
We not mad. We not mad. But you've been a leader, and so when you're a senior, and we talked about this, you always, like a lot of seniors, it's a lot of pressure. You kind of don't focus on that year. You kind of look ahead, so to speak. You want to have some team success, but you want to play well. And a lot of guys who want to play well, who are at the schools that we're at, Duke, whatever, Kentucky's, Carolinas, they think about the next level. And so you've been a captain, senior captain, a leader, 2-time first-team All-ACC performer. What was your mindset going into your senior year, knowing that we were going to have a talented team and you were going to be the leader of that team?
I think going into the summer, all you guys know I was playing minor league baseball every summer. So every summer leading up to then, I had played, 2 months of every summer playing baseball. And then, I had the opportunity to play on some USA teams in the past too. And you guys know when you're on those USA teams, usually you play a role. And then when I'm playing baseball, I can't focus 100% on hoops. So I really wanted that to be a summer, especially coming off that Kentucky loss the previous year, which was such a heart-wrenching loss that was on my mind the whole summer. I was like, Will, I wanted to be ready. I knew we had a team that had a great opportunity to come back and win a championship, and I wanted to dedicate that summer to being ready, like no other summer that I had before. So that's what I did. And then coming into the season, I remember Coach K, before we started our preseason stuff, kind of pulled me in. He's like, look, I don't want this preseason to be like any other preseason that you've been here. I don't want to be running stadium steps. I don't want to be on the track. I don't even really want to do that many individual workout sessions. I want you guys to play. And he kind of asked me, he said, do you think you can hold our guys to doing that? Do you think our guys will buy into that and get in shape? And I said, I think so. I think these guys are hungry. And that's all we did, man. We hooped, and coach was like, I think this is going to be a long year for you guys, so I don't want to overwhelm you guys. I want you guys just to go out, have fun, and hoop, but push each other and get in shape. And we did that in the preseason, and I think we continued to do it. We kept pushing each other throughout the whole season. EB got bored every now and then of kicking Taman's butt down low, so we had to push him and keep him in line. But I think overall, man, those practices were battles, man. And I think we held each other accountable every day in terms of competition. And then we just took it out on folks once we got to the games, man. I think we all looked forward to it. And we didn't, it's not like we ever took a game off, man. We tried to put it on people. And I think for me, it was just trying to keep us together and try to have fun the whole time, not ever feel like, see, we talked the other day, man. I never realized we won 33 in a row that year. To me, we were all present. It wasn't like, oh, we've lost 25. We've won 25 in a row, man. This 26th game, ooh, this is pressure, man. We need to. It was never like that. It was like, who's the next opponent? What's the next practice? We're going to take this thing day to day, game to game. And whoever's in front of us, we're just going, put them, kick their butts and move on. And I think that's what we did. And we had a whole lot of fun doing it. So you guys were a really easy team to lead. You guys listened, and I enjoyed every fucking part of it, man. I couldn't have asked for a better group for my senior year.
And when I think about your leadership, so we coming back, we were on a team with Wojo. And Wojo was the slap the floor. He was the rah-rah guy. He was really vocal. He was the vocal leader.
Right.
I thought you were the perfect leader for our group. You led by example. And so, and everything, like we had sprints, you were always one in the top 3 in sprints. We lifted, you were always going hard in the lifts. Trajan is one of the guys, and you guys can attest to this. He was way ahead of the game in nutrition. So we'd be eating bull crap with pieces. He'd be eating apples and oranges. And,
Ted Wheeler, baby.
You know what I'm saying?
Couldn't do that.
Yoga. Way ahead of the game. You know what I'm saying? Look at this dude like, yo, man, we just gotta live. You know what I'm saying? But to follow you, though. You know what I'm saying? We have a great leader for that team. You know, we need a perfect leader for that team.
No, I appreciate you. It's a lot of fun.
So now I'm gonna move to the 3-time National Defensive Player of the Year, National Player of the Year, and two guys that's on this call that did win a national championship. When I think about Shane, before the Player of the Year, his senior year, before the national championship, you know, Shane, Nate, and myself, we were role players. We were role players. You know, Will, Trajan, and Elton, those were the guys, and rightfully so. You know, dynamic on the offensive end on the floor. And so, you know, when I was thinking about, like, you know, this call, and when we got together, I was like, yo, the game that sticks out most in my mind, Shane, that year was the Maryland game. Was the game against Maryland. It kind of like it was foreshadowing to what you were going to be. That was a game to me where you kind of like, that was your coming out game. You know, you scored, I think, 27 points, a career high at that time. Big time game against Maryland. You know, you did it all. From the 3-point line, on the break, driving, you did it all that game.
Put it on Terrence Morris.
On the break. And so, like, that game, like having that game, was that a game for you that were you like, you know what, I can do it on that end. I'm playing my role, but it needed to be, I could be a superstar player.
Well, you know, I remember that game like it was yesterday, not 20 years ago. And you know what most people don't realize about that game goes back to my freshman year. I shot 4 for 28 from 3 my freshman year. That was really, really bad. Mm-hmm. And you know, I worked with Chip England that summer. And he's like, look, if you want to be a player, you got to learn to shoot. that was the most honest anyone's ever been about my career, and I knew I had to change my shot. And so from the summer really into the Maryland game, I was sort of reconstructing my shot. And the Maryland game was the first game, literally, you know, 20 games into the season, where I felt that all the work I put in the season in the fall, it paid off, and it just clicked. And you know, we've all had those games where you just feel like you're in the zone and you feel like you can't do any wrong. And that was the game for me. You know, I didn't like Terrence Morris. I don't like Maryland. You know, my kids, you know, are not allowed to go to University of Maryland. They can go anywhere else they want, not Maryland. And it was a special day. But you know, being a role player, you know, people don't realize how stacked our teams were. Yeah. And you would do anything just to get on the floor. And so, like, look, you know, there wasn't a loose ball we wouldn't die for. There wasn't a charge we wouldn't take. We would do everything just to earn a scrap of a minute on the floor. And, you know, and so when people say we were role players, but, like, we were really, really good. Really good role players fighting for that scrap just to get out there. But that Maryland game, you know, that was a great Maryland team with Stevie Franchise and Abino Kesey and LaRon Prophet, Terrence Morris. They were really, really good. We put it on them. We beat them by 20 at Maryland about a month before that game, and then we put it on them again about 20 in Cameron. So, but that was that's a game that really marked the start of my offense career at Duke.
Yep, great game. And moving on to the big man, EB. All right. What's up, EB?
Hey.
All right, it's your time. So, preseason National Player of the Year at the end of your freshman year, EB. I'm gonna take it back a little further. You break your foot freshman year, you were rolling. Then you come back, you're really not 100%. And you end up coming back and playing, but you wasn't the EB National Player of the Year. But with that being said, you still had a chance to leave your freshman year and be a pretty high pick, lottery pick. Preseason National Player of the Year on the cover of ESPN and magazine coming into the year. It's a lot of pressure. I think at the time you're 19 years old. How was that? How was dealing with the pressure of knowing I could have probably left after my freshman year, but now I'm coming back to this team. They're telling me to be the best player in the country on arguably the best team in the country. Like for a 19-year-old kid, like we talk about the one and done, but back then, I mean, that's pretty young to have that type of pressure to deal with. Like, what was your mindset going into that year with all the hype that was surrounding you?
Yeah, no, I'll rewind it back a little further. You know, Coach K was totally honest with me. He said, look, you'll go 14 to 20. You come back, you'll be on the cover of magazines, ESPN magazine, Sports Illustrated, and we're going to go to the Final Four, and you'll be a top 3 pick. Now, it's your choice, son. You know, I told you. I talked to Mama Daisy, rest in peace. I miss her dearly. I talked to Mama Daisy. I said, Mom, Coach said next year I could do better in the draft, and you know, it'll work out. We'll go to the Final Four, and you know, I trust him and I believe in him. And she says, so you're gonna leave me in this shithole? True story. Single parent mom, public housing. You got a chance. Like this is, you could go change everyone's lives. Our family trajectory could change. And you're gonna trust what Coach is saying. And I'm like, I'm gonna trust him. Go into the season, and I get benched.
You get your spot jacked. Get your spot jacked.
Where was that?
Yeah, I didn't start 2 games.
Where was that, up in Alaska? Where was that? I forget.
Coast Alaska. So Alaska, he told me, go take a picture for ESPN, get off my bench. Because we lost, and Kenyon Martin, Melvin Levitt, the helicopter, like, you know, there's a good team. And we lost. So when we came back, I didn't start. Chris Burgess dunked it backwards, and Cameron went crazy. I wasn't starting no more. We went to Chicago, Michigan State, national stage.
Yeah.
I'm on the bench, not starting, and we're still winning because that's how good we were. He switched my rooms. I couldn't room with Will no more. I had to room with Trajan.
Had to go to bed at a normal time.
Normal time, and grind. I had to grind. And, you know, coaching is leadership. And we talk about Trajan. His leadership was great for that team. But it all came down to Coach. And you know, his message, we trusted him. He managed the tension. He managed the meaning of our brotherhood, our team, and our goals and his values. Like, it's like, I'd rather lose, son, than you not give your best effort, than you not be who I think you can be. But then I fought back, you know, and then my teammates helped me up, and you know, you guys supported me, and then we made the run. We didn't get the big one, but we had an amazing run. But it was based on leadership, and that philosophy that he had, it transcends time. It's about brotherhood. It's about people. It's about growth. It's about, you know, getting the best out of each other, which is what we did. It was a fun time, man. I miss those days.
Fun time. Not to leave my man Nate James out, you know, my room, we came in together, but that 98-99 team, I was a junior, he's a red shirt sophomore, okay? And so one of my best memories of that year was the game we played against St. John's in the Garden, right? Big time national TV game. Game goes in overtime. Will Avery, Trajan Langdon, and Elton Brand, our 3 superstars, maybe 2 or 3 fouled out. I think Will and Elton end up fouling out. Trajan fouled out.
Yeah, I think so.
As well.
Yep.
Trajan, did you foul out?
I think I fouled out late.
You fouled out late.
I played the majority of the overtime, but
okay, and EB
it was
fouled out.
a long ass game.
Long game. And so, like, those 3 were out. We playing against a really good St. John's team. Boosie Thornton, 40 points on us in the Garden. Eric Barkley, you know, Ron Artest.
Meta World Peace.
Yeah, right. Meta World Peace in the Garden. And so I remember the team, really, it was Shane, myself, and then, Nate, who, like you said, just to get on the court, it was hard with this squad, redshirt sophomore. But to me, that was one of the games where I thought you showed like who you were, as a competitor. Once you talk about that game. Did he freeze?
Yeah, I think Nate is paused.
I'm pausing, Nate. Come on, we would.
We need you, Nate.
We need you, Nate. Come on, man. Come on,
Nate has always been stoic, man. He's always been the stoic one of the group.
Come on, Nate. Double overtime. We need you, dog.
Double overtime. Hey, Nate. Nathaniel. Drake. All right.
And he's out.
It is. Okay, we move on. All right. You know what I'm saying? Try to get my man in there. Shit didn't work. All right. So, all right. Now we're moving on. Okay. And we all talk. EB, you just touched on this. Coach. All right. The GOAT. And so you guys, I'm just going to throw the GOAT out there. You guys elaborate on what y'all relationship was with him, what he means to each one of you guys. And how was it playing for him? Like, shoot.
The biggest thing for me with Coach was always he was upfront and he was honest. Never pulled punches with me. Never tried to blow smoke up my ass. He told me when I was good and he told me when I was bad and I needed to get better, and told me what he needed out of me for the team, for better or for worse. Was really hard on me my freshman year. We sucked. But he was really hard. But even when he took his time out, we were 2-14 in conference. He was trying the most he could to keep us, especially the young guys, keep positive. But the one thing that I always appreciated in him is he would always be honest. I don't know if you remember EB, that summer before the senior year, that Goodwill Games team, I got invited to come try out for that team, and I just told Coach, like, I want to work on my game. Like, I really want to work on my game this summer. I know it'd be good to be on the team, but I need a summer just to get right. I don't want to play a role. I need to get in shape. And Coach was like, cool, that makes sense. And then later in the summer, I get a call from him and he goes, look, I know you want, I was actually working with Tim Gergerich out in Vegas. I was out there for like 10 days. And he called me. He was like, look, I know you're working with Gerg, but I got a call from USA Basketball. They're putting this team together for the World Championships, and you need to go. Yeah, you need to go. You need to try out. If you make the team, great. If you don't, you can keep working on your game. And he was absolutely right. It was a once in a lifetime opportunity. Never had the chance to play for a national team again, and I learned a ton in those 3 weeks with that team. So the one thing I appreciate with Coach is just his honesty, being upfront. Didn't matter if he felt that if I wanted to hear it or not. It's what I needed to hear at the time.
Yeah, I think I agree with Trey that he knew what button to push the guy. There were some guys in our team that needed a kick in the pants every single day on games. But guess what? Those guys got a kick in the pants every single day. And for other people, it was challenging them mentally, psychologically. But he just knew what it took to get the best out of every guy. And back in I don't think I would have had the career that I had if he didn't challenge. For me, never a question of whether he challenged if I was tough or I was smart. We both knew I was tough and smart, Coach. But he always challenged my ability to be a great player, like a Christian Laettner, like a Grant Hill, like a Trajan Langdon. And he questioned whether I could handle that. And for me, that was those are fighting words. And I said, I'm gonna make Coach talk about me like he talks about those guys who came before me. And it's a special skill. I mean, you guys have been around basketball all your life, and it's very few people that you've been around that can get the absolute best out of every person in their team and organization. Like Coach can.
Mm-hmm. I agree. He knew which buttons to push and when to push them. He really pushed me a lot. My freshman year was on me a lot. And going back to what you said, Will, earlier about me getting the keys to the Ferrari, he trusted me with those keys. You know, he allowed me to be instinctive, you know, and he didn't try to change me, you know, and at times he believed that I was better than I thought I was. You know, just gave me the utmost confidence to go out there and you know, be myself and play to the best of my ability. And you know, he's the reason for my success my sophomore season. You know, the big jump. You know, just his belief and trust in me.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd echo, you know, all of that. You know, all the sentiments about Coach is just his value, his belief in you, the way he communicated and knew when to push the buttons. You know, and then it was the fear. You know, we knew. It's like McDonald's All-American right here, McDonald's All-American right here.
Right.
And everybody has an equal chance. If you go get it, you will play. If you don't, you will sit. And he communicated that to you. Like, listen, it's about winning. Actually, it's about family. It's about winning, but it's about school. It's about what Duke meant. It's about your family name. It's just his value. You know, like I said, I was scared to death of him then, but now, you know, our relationship, I love our relationship now, even like as a friend, mentor. You know, he'll send me an emoji with balloons and say send it to you for your birthday. You know, like, he just knows, like, he just has this sensibility about him, this humility about him that, you know, true leaders have. And as you know, in management, I try to pull from his leadership style as much as I can, because he made, you know, all of us. You know, he it was just something that he had, the way he led.
And I'd add to EV's comments that, look, the reason why the Brotherhood is the Brotherhood is because we've all been through it, and we've all been on the wrong end of Coach K, you know, his mood one day, and it was not easy, you know, and so that's like the thing that I laughed about, you know, going to Duke, and you know, not so much anymore, but when we were there, it was like, oh, you know, pretty boys at Duke, and it's soft. It's like, no, dude, you probably couldn't have made it at Duke. You know, playing for Coach K when Coach K was an absolute tiger. You know, he's kind of mellowed now. We call him, you know, Grandpa Coach K now, but he's still got that fire. But
I don't call you that, Coach. I don't call you that.
There he is, a teddy bear. He's a teddy bear. A teddy bear now.
Yeah. No, he was a hard ass. He was a hard ass back then, back in those days. So, quick story. My freshman year, I think Trajan and Nate, they remember this. So we, you know, my first game, we back in black. You know, we come into the locker room before the game. Will, Elton, Shane. We get into the huddle. I'm a freshman. I'm excited. First home game at Cameron. We bring it in, the huddle. 1, 2, 3. Everybody say defense. I say showtime. You know what I'm saying? 1, 2, 3, showtime. How you heard that? I don't know, right? Get into the game. I turn the ball over. Don't get back on defense. Out the game. Don't see any more minutes the rest of the game. Tape session the next day. You already know how that is. You already know how that tape is. So we going through tape. I said, look, I'm cool. I had a little turnover, but, you know, it ain't nothing. It's nothing. Boom, he go around, does this thing, gets to me. And see, Will, if you ever turn the ball over and don't get back on defense, your ass is out of here. And if I ever hear you say showtime again, all right. So next time we in the huddle, 1, 2, 3, defense. You know what I'm saying? It's a different ball game. Man. It's a different ball game. But
I thought you were gonna tell the story when he was gonna fight you.
I mean, shit. How many? I can
he
tell.
challenged you to a fight. You want to fight me?
Yeah, we ain't got all night, sir.
And you'd have took that out. And you'd have took that out. Coach,
chill, man. Chill.
Yo, see, he used to hit me when he used to hit you your freshman year on, yo, see, we're not running these plays for you to go post up these guys. Why you think you could just post up a guy at any time?
I'm
running this thing for you.
I back down Capel from the 3-point line and hit the shot. Then my senior year, I do the same thing and miss it. And he be like, yo, Sewell's going to take those shots. I made it my freshman year. There's just a difference in trust. You know what I'm saying? The trust. look, three of you guys, like this whole panel, man, is like all you guys real close, all friends. The three of you guys are NBA executives. That's incredible. We got two coaches. We got Will, who's done everything in women's basketball, player development, and Georgia that you can do. But how did Duke and playing for Coach help you guys get to that level? I mean, you guys are the highest level. How did Duke and, like I said, playing for the GOAT help you guys get to that level?
Well, I was blessed that I was able to go into a hell of a franchise from day one. Obviously, I went in with the Spurs when they were on the championship runs those couple years, and so I got to see kind of how a championship organization was run from jump. So that was huge. But I think the things that coaches teach is just being humble, being modest, and I think having that mindset and going into that atmosphere allowed me just to sit back. I worked my butt off when I was with them. I learned. But I just listened. I observed and I listened and learned a ton from those guys that have obviously been successful and they know how to do it and win at the highest level. And then just going forward, it's always been about listening, taking things from people, the important things, and then trying to lead in my own way. And right now I'm in a place where I can empower people, try to teach people, and then kind of get out of the way, do what I need to do, but not micromanage, empower people, and try to lead to the best of my ability and motivate people, hold people accountable when need be. And I think that's Coach's style. He communicates to people, let them know what they need to do. And if they're doing it the right way, he gets the fuck out the way. If they're not doing it the right way, then he lets them know at that point. And once they figure it out, he lets them rock. So that's kind of my style of leadership that I've kind of been able to employ in the different positions that I've been in my time in the front office. And I think I'll continue to lead the same way going forward.
Yeah, Will said.
Yeah.
EB,
Mr. GM, I'm a lonely vice president. I defer to the GM, the man.
EB.
Yeah, no, usually I have my VPs go first, Shane. So it's it's just they know when you look at Duke, you've played at the highest level, you've had media at the highest level. The scrutiny at the highest level, relationships, are really important. When Sewell or Nate or, Will, you say, hey, I have a possible internship. That a manager from Duke or, someone that went to Duke, that's, in analytics, it just stands for something. And I think that continued in, in the NBA. They know when you marry basketball with, education and, what the leadership Coach K brought to us, like I try to pull from it, like I said, as much as I can. So it's about the relationships, and I think that's really helped me in, as I went through my journey in becoming a general manager.
I don't think it's specific to basketball. We all happen to be in a sport that we spend our life in, but I'm confident that what we learned from Coach would be applicable to life, and we'd be successful executives in any corporate setting that we chose to be in. And what Coach teaches about culture, about standards, about values, no different from every successful company that you'll find in Silicon Valley or on Wall Street. And it just happens to be basketball is our medium, and so I think we're all lucky that we played for a coach that taught us values and taught us just how to be successful. And the thing that I have found after leaving Duke is people just want to know what makes Duke so successful, what makes Coach K so successful, because most people don't feel like never win a championship. And so we were part of a winning program team, and you look at our teams and the players who played in that team, and the managers and the coaches, all successful people because of means and the fabric that we all come from.
Yeah, I'd add to that too, like the culture, like the environment he put us in. Like you look at culture, it's what you celebrate and what you tolerate. He didn't tolerate if you didn't work hard.
Mm-hmm.
And like to follow up what Shane said, in any business, in any real world situation, it's about what you celebrate and what you tolerate.
Yeah.
Good point.
All right. This could be the last question, but I don't know. It's flowing right now. We having a good time, fellas. Will Avery, Shane Battier, Elton Brand, Trajan Langdon. I'm gonna start this off with Coach James, my man Nate James. Nate, what was your favorite team memory from the 98-99 season and why? Your favorite team memory from the 98-99 season and why? Yeah, put him on the spot right there.
I don't want to say anything generic, but my favorite memories were just coming out of that tunnel with the guys that you battle with every day in practice, man. And like to be a player and run out, with the group of guys, to your left, to your right, front, back, and know that you're gonna completely just destroy whoever you come up against. Man, that was just something that I was just honored to be a part of, man. Like I said, these guys are big time, high level, players, but just great dudes. And to go to battle with them, that's what I love, man. Each and every day, coming into Duke, you know that you're gonna face the competition, and you earn the respect by showing up every day. You know what I'm saying, giving it your all, and that's what I tried to do with this group. And so that for me, that's what it was, man. Just being able to go out and battle with them.
Here we go again. Here we go.
Frozen.
Frozen. Will, talk to me.
I mean, just the battles in practice every day, man. I love watching you guys on the wings go at it. Elton Taman, you never know what's gonna happen. Shane mixing it up in there, man. I truly just love the battles, man. Every day, just guys going at it, and you never knew, who were gonna get the best of who, and just and the thing, just not letting. I mean, you guys used to fight for reps. Like you guys never wanted to come off the floor, man. I just love going to war with you guys every day in practice, man. I knew, we were going to get better every day.
Yeah.
My favorite memory of that team was the Michigan State game in Chicago. Elton got benched. And we lost a tough game. We lost a really tough game in Alaska to a Cincinnati team that was really underrated, and we all felt like personally responsible because all we wanted to do was win for Trajan. Him being home, we felt horrible that we personally let Trajan down. That was in my 4 years, that was the hardest, toughest film session in practice I had ever been a part of, ever in 4 years, maybe in basketball history. And we came out of that situation so bloodthirsty that we just couldn't wait to get to Chicago. And Michigan State was a top 10 team. They were a contender for the national championship. Really, really good team. It was in their backyard, United Center, and that was an absolute battle. And I didn't know if we were going to win that game, but I knew we were going to leave it all out there. And, that was the start of an amazing, amazing run. But that just showed the toughness of our guys and the way we responded to a really tough loss on a lot of levels.
EB.
I think, of course, the battles with the brothers and it's what we went through with coach and the practices and the games. But that experience in Cameron is just priceless. I hurt my foot freshman year, so I missed a ton of games, and just that second year with the "Who's Your Daddy" Battier and Elton Brand did, and just all that stuff. Look, my mom, third, fourth row, she could hear Coach curse us out. It just was magical. It was just a magical moment being in Cameron. Like, and then when I go now to scout some of the young men or just go to a game, I forget how small it is. It's just how what an atmosphere it is. So, I'd say the Cameron Crazies and just us playing in front of that crowd and what that meant. Tents and camping out and just that whole hysteria at that time. That was an unreal moment that I go back to a lot.
That scoreboard's a little nicer now, though, EB, huh?
We built a few buildings in there.
No, people don't realize. People don't talk about that, and these young guys don't understand what our locker room looked like in '99. I mean, it was like, how small was it? It was as small as the kitchen is now in the new locker room they have, right?
I mean, come on, man.
Talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Or the fact that coach's office didn't even have windows.
Yeah, right. And then Card Jim.
The time when
Card Jim.
we didn't come to Duke for that.
Card Jim.
Card Gym. Yep. You want to lose 10 pounds?
Man,
Card Gym,
Card
baby.
Jim is no joke.
The weight, we gotta go to the Murray building to lift weights, and we passing the weight off to a wide receiver.
Hey, get your rep in. Let me get mine.
Okay, we done with that? Yeah, okay, we cool.
Sonny Falcone said 50 pounds is 50 pounds, boys.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Trey Lay, talk to us.
I got to go back to my freshman year, and the fact that I'll allude to that again when we were 13 and 18, 2 and 14 in conference.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I basically said at the end of that year to myself, man, like, the year before that, they lost to Arkansas in the final game. And then it's like, I got to get back to the Final Four. I got to help this organization, this university get back to the Final Four. So, fast forward junior year, we get to Kentucky, that Kentucky game, we're up 17 with 10 to go, and we let that get out of our hands. So to get back to that game the next year against Temple and win that game, to get the team, to get Duke back to the Final Four again, to me was a great accomplishment and something that I'll never forget. Obviously, I wish we could have cut the Nets down in St. Pete, but that accomplishment and that feeling that night with all of you guys to actually win that game that we had lost 1 year prior to that was an amazing feeling. And a lot of things that I come back to too and see, well, you and I talk about it a lot is, we would have killer one-on-one sessions after practices, man. Like, it was like we wouldn't just come and practice and get done and leave. Like, it was like, yo, let's get some ones in. Like me, Shane, you, Will, like Nate, like they would be great one-on-one sessions. We were just all about getting better and trying to push each other to get better every day. And those are some of the best memories and some great memories from that year.
The one-on-one battles that we had with
all
you guys. Trey introduced me. I remember Elton kicking my tail in Card Gym, full court one-on-one. I lost to all you guys.
Man, I remember Shane's freshman year. Like I could get him with the jab jumper, the little step back, the runner joint. I'm like sophomore year, like, damn, I'm having his sophomore year. I was like, man, I'm having some problems scoring against this dude.
Right.
This dude can guard.
Right.
Yeah. So
right.
It was challenging for me and got me better every day. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys.
The battles, and my favorite moment of the year, Trey, you just alluded to it, was making it back, man. You lose to Kentucky. I remember being in that game. We all played in that game. Nate just got red shirt sophomore year, and I'm in the game like we're going to the Final Four. We're going to the Final Four, and then we end up losing that game. But we end up losing that game, and we end up winning, going to the fight. Maybe Elton doesn't come back. Like who knows? Probably not. Probably not, right? But maybe Will doesn't work, as hard as he worked that sophomore year, and then we make it back. But the thing I loved about that team, that we knew our roles, man, and it was no complaining. It was just like, look. And I say that because Shane Battier was the National Player of the Year. He was the 6th leading scorer on that team.
Mm-hmm.
I end up humble brag ACC Player of the Year, first team All-American. I was the 5th leading scorer on that team. You know, Nate ends up being an All-ACC performer his senior year. He was the 8th leading scorer on the team. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that talent. We all embraced our roles. We all just wanted to win. The most important thing about that team is we wanted to win. We wanted to compete. And like you said, we came up short, but it was the best team I've ever played on. The best team I ever played on. And it was the most fun I ever had. Although my senior year was a fun year, that year we were so dominant, and just the personalities that we had, we would hang out together on it, off the court as well. It was just a pleasure, man. Everything from practice, off the court, playing in the games, everything we did, and that's why we're close now. I can call Shane Battier and say, "Look, man, I'm throwing a 40th birthday party for Steve Wojciechowski. I know I ain't talked to you in a few years. I know I'll be there." You know, when Will comes up for fantasy camp, you can hit EB, Trajan about anything. And no matter if you talk to them or not, they got your back. They'll help you out in a heartbeat, whatever you need. And so that type of bond is the reason why we're on this call now. That's the reason, that I love that season so much, because we had this. And the brotherhood is strong. Love you guys. You guys, that's the closing remarks. I don't think you get better than that. We're going to end it on that. Brotherhood, man. Love you guys. We out.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
All right.
Thanks, guys. Man. Love y'all.
Appreciate it.
All right, man. All right, go.
See how I turn this thing off, man.